You need to speak into the microphone.
Like this?
Yes.
I need a pro up here to show me. Okay, so, yeah, well, I see you adjusting the mic every once in a while, mister. All right. Okay, how about now? Yeah. Okay. What was I saying? No. I'm glad you're here. Nope. Yeah, what?
It fell down.
You gotta speak into it.
I get that part, but if it's not going to cooperate, like, what am I supposed to do? Okay. Okay, just try again, apparently is what you do. And that's good, because that's what we have to do, that's what we have to be thinking about now. We've got a lot of work to do. There's a bunch of people who care about women in this room, who care about girls in this room, and we're here to celebrate them, and we're here also to support them. And I'm talking as if I'm not one of them. I am one of them. And I'm really glad that we can all do this together. Okay, so we're going to have these little short intervals where people are going to read or they're going to tell stories, and then we're going to have some music. And at any time, if you feel you need to go and get water or something, please just do it. We're here until 8 o'clock. And so that's kind of the game plan for the day, evening, and that's what I wanted to say, and it's going to be fabulous. Okay, so I'm going to start us off with a piece that I really like, that I have to hold up to read in big type. Again, something some of you might be familiar with. This is a piece that meant a lot to me when I read it as a young woman, and still does. It's by Virginia Woolf, and it was written in 1929. Note the date, the year. It's called A Room of One's Own. And it's a piece she wrote, well, you'll know why. There's a reference in it to Milton's Bogie. And I just want you to, when you hear that, I want you to think about any specter of patriarchal authority. Of course, we have many examples to choose from at this point. Sort of insert there when you hear me say that. Okay. I told you in the course of this paper that Shakespeare had a sister, but do not look for her in Sir Sidney Lee's Life of the Poet. She died young. Also, she never wrote a word. She lies buried where the omnibuses now stop, opposite the Elephant Castle. Now, my belief is that this poet, who never wrote a word and was buried at the crossroads, still lives. She lives in you and in me and in many other women who are not here tonight, for they are washing up the dishes and putting the children to bed. But she lives, for great poets do not die. They are continuing presences. They only need the opportunity to walk among us in the flesh. This opportunity, I think, is now coming within our power to give her. For my belief is that if we live another century or so, ouch. I'm talking the common life, which is the real life, and not of the separate little lives which we live as individuals. And if we had 500 a year, each of us, 500, and rooms of our own, if we have the habit of freedom and the courage to write exactly what we think, if we escape a little from the common sitting room and see human beings not always in their relationship to each other, but in relation to reality, and the sky too, and the trees, or whatever else may be in themselves, if we look past Milton's Bogie, for no human being should shut out the view. If we face the fact, for it is a fact, that there is no arm to cling to, but that we go alone and that our relation is to the world of reality, and not only to the world of men and women, then the opportunity will come, and the dead poet, who was Shakespeare's sister, will put on the body which she has so often laid down. Drawing her life from the lives of the unknown who were her forerunners, as her brother did before her, she will be born. As for her coming without that preparation, without that effort on our part, without that determination that when she is born again, she will find it possible to live and write her poetry, that we cannot expect, for that would be impossible. But I maintain that she would come if we worked for her, and that so to work, even in poverty and obscurity, is worthwhile. We have a whole plan.
Is that okay? Thank you. Can you hear me okay? My name is Lorraine LaFawn, and I've connected with a lot of you as a fitness instructor at the community center and just from Lincoln City. This is great. I love our small town. This is my first time in the 115-year history of International Women's Day to participate in this celebration. So, of course, I had to do some research and go to the website, all the things that you do. Sarah's nodding her head like, yeah, I did that. And I saw the theme for 2026, in addition to what we're doing here locally, is give to gain. And that reminded me of the law of giving and receiving. The law of giving and receiving teaches us, reminds us, that giving is receiving. As we give our time, our support, our encouragement, our individual knowledge and skills, we gain a stronger community. Tonight, I'm recognizing and celebrating all of the ways we give to each other and how we grow together as we receive. Passing on our experiences, our struggles, our success with words, music, with art, builds our collective wisdom, and it provides a model of bravery for each other now as well as the next generation. I'm grateful for the wide range of knowledge and experiences represented here tonight. Teachers, leaders, mentors. Our community is rich with positive role models, women that encourage each other, step forward without judgment, giving everyone a chance to shine, to thrive. We actively advance our community of wise women and brave girls by practicing the law of giving and receiving. As Mother Teresa said, I can do things you cannot. You can do things I cannot. Together, we can do great things. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nora Sherwood, and I love dogs. We're in the season of Imbolc and the Celtic calendar. It's the quarter day of February 1st is Imbolc, and that's also known as St. Bridget's Day. It is a national holiday in Ireland, and I was given this lovely book about the pilgrimage in the footsteps of Bridget of Kildare by a local Baptist minister. You might know her, Valerie Kendall, and I thought it was adorable to get a book about St. Bridget from her. St. Bridget is a 5th century historical person who very little is known about, but there's lots of lovely legends. One of them is that she's kind of a powerful, very powerful person for her era. She wanted to start a monastery, and the king would not give her any land to start her monastery. So she went to him and said, if you will just give me as much land as my cloak covers, that's all I ask. And then her magic cloak, she and 3 sisters pulled it out, and it covered acres and acres of land. And so that was how the monastery at Kildare, the St. Bridget Monastery, was founded, and that's how she got the land. This is a poem, Bridget of Kildare, by B. McMahon from The Hill of the Goddess, Bridget of Kildare. Oh, and she changes name halfway through the poem. She starts out as Bridget, but she also then turns into Brid, which is the goddess that she's associated with as well, who is a pagan goddess. So it's one of those things where she's kind of Christian and also revered as a pagan figure as well. Bridget, who fearlessly spoke from the hills of the goddess, keeper of well water, fire and new-turned earth. Read of the woven cloak, the healing hands, woman of generous heart and star-bright mind. Read the contemplative, prayer-turning, wheeling, rising like flocks of plover over beloved plains. Read the ambassador, a windswept girl in a speeding chariot, singing a song of freedom, love, and heavenly praise. Read of the churn and the crochet, of nurturing soul and listening ear, counselor, mentor of bishops and kings, lover of animals, spinner of dreams, daughter of Duftach, child of Bukaza, spouse of the living God, powerful voice to cherish and challenge, Bridget, a light in our lives.
Hi, I'm Nissa, also happen to be Nora's daughter, so thanks for inviting me here today. Oh, this is really tall. So I'm gonna keep the goddess energy flowing a little bit. I've chosen a couple of excerpts from a book by Starhawk, who is the pioneer in the modern neo-pagan movement, co-founded the reclaiming tradition, and is an eco-feminist, which is a movement that I strongly identify with. And I've chosen this because learning about some of the way that femininity is upheld in a divinity tradition has been really helpful for me feeling comfortable existing in this body, in this world that likes to tear us down. So here's a little bit more about the goddess. The symbolism of the goddess has taken on an electrifying power for modern women. The rediscovery of ancient matriarchal civilizations has given us a deep sense of pride in women's ability to create and sustain culture. It has exposed the falsehoods of patriarchal history and given us models of female strength and authority. Once again, in today's world, we recognize the goddess, ancient and primeval, the first of deities, patroness of the Stone Age hunt, and the first sowers of seeds, under whose guidance the herds retained the healing herbs first discovered, and whose image the first works of art were created, for whom the standing stones were raised, who was the inspiration of song and poetry. She is the bridge on which we can cross the chasms within ourselves, which were created by our social conditioning, and reconnect with our lost potentials. She is the ship on which we sail the waters of the deep self, exploring the uncharted seas within. She is the door through which we pass into the future. She is the cauldron in which we who have been wrenched apart simmer until we again become whole. She is the vaginal passage through which we are reborn. Moon Mother, I am your child of innocence, your natural born. No laws but yours contain me, no love but your own. Everlasting, ever-changing, thousand-formed, your eyes are ducks on the wing, your foot is dancing foam. I am your dancer and you are the dance, song without limit, drummer in tune, a whole orchestra of your love. I could walk your golden path straight to the sun, two-step my way to your heart. Oh, send me away, let me swing on your star, in constant ripple. Stream, lake, pond, ocean, whirlpool, crashing great one, earth sucker, the only one, and true love. You leave treasure everywhere, sand dollars, smooth stone, your edible green hair. This is our life, Mama, yours and mine, all flickering powers and the shimmering lights, currents alternate and direct. I might hold the cork, but you are the flow, the circuit, the breaker, the spare dry spell, insanity at midnight, pairs at dawn, ecstasy in the noon heat, mirage that points to the real splendor, gold and saffron, ruby and red, sunrise, moonset, the single song of all that is, was, and ever shall be. Blessed be.
Hello, glasses. I'm Diana, and let's see, fact about me, I'm an introvert, so we'll see how this goes. I had something else in mind to talk about, and then last week a new censorship bill, HR 7661, was introduced to the US House of Representatives. So I decided to share something that happened in my store that seems relevant. I have a bookshop here in town, and in my shop I have a table for themed displays. They're seasonal genres, it varies. Right now it's Women's History Month. A while back I had a display with the theme in the news. So it was just books about topical subjects. And one day I was tidying the store between customers and I noticed a number of books were missing from the table. I knew I hadn't sold them, so I kept an eye out for them, looked for them all day, couldn't find them. So I finally checked the security footage because it was bugging me. And the footage showed a young man, maybe early 20s. He'd been in with his family, he left with a big smile and friendly wave. And he, on the footage, he pulled books from the display that he apparently objected to, hid them around the store, damaged some of them in the process. And the only thing the books had in common was that they all had to do with women. Women's health, history, and reproductive rights. And this young man decided it was up to him what books should be available for people in my store. And clearly the appropriate response was to double down. So I created the display, and it covers so many things that I haven't actually named the display yet. But it's just the display, capital T, capital D. And it's become a permanent section of rotating titles focusing on women's health, history, and reproductive rights. And now there are so many more books that he would object to. And what led to the display is not a unique story. Even within my shop, there's a sign briefly explaining how the section came to be. And now there's an additional note about another man who came in specifically to pick a fight over a book he saw in the window called When God Was a Woman by Merlin Stone. That's a whole nother story. And I already had a lot of the books, but they were spread out over various sections. Now I have this additional section with duplicates, as well as many new books I brought in. By trying to repress women's stories, these men very inadvertently pointed out that I needed to do a better job of highlighting these books about women's health, history, and reproductive rights. Books are powerful because they contain our stories, and representation matters. The ability to choose what to read, to share our stories, and to learn from other people's stories should be up to us. What we read, what our kids read, should be our decision, not the decision of politicians or anyone else. And the entitlement certain people feel that they have the right to a voice louder than the rest of us, to make decisions, to limit the opportunities of the rest of us, are reasons we need to keep speaking up. And speaking up can mean a lot of things. It may not be by voice, but I encourage everyone, even the introverts, to keep speaking up in their own way.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Sarah Hagee, and I'm accompanied tonight by Kim Putman and Val McDowell. And we are here in representation of Conexión Phoenix. And we are very honored to have been invited tonight to help to celebrate Women's Day. Women's Day is celebrated across cultures, my culture as well. And so today we wanted to bring first a quote from Frida Kahlo. And it says, soy mi propia musa, soy la persona que mejor conozco, soy la persona que quiero mejorar.
I am my own muse. I am the person I know best. I am the person I want to improve. We're sharing a poem that's common to International Women's Day. We tried to find an author, No dice.
So, este texto es anónimo, moderno, de homenaje feminista, que circula en línea probablemente posterior al 2010, comúnmente compartido en el Día Internacional de la Mujer.
Anonymous modern feminist tribute text circulating online, likely post-2010, commonly shared for International Women's Day.
And this poem is called Que vivan las mujeres,
Long live the women.
que vivan las mujeres que sueñan, las que luchan, las que cuidan, las que empiezan de nuevo, las que levantan las familias, proyectos, comunidades y también a sí mismas, porque cuando una mujer avanza, el mundo entero se mueve con ella.
Long live the women who dream, who struggle, who nurture, who begin again. The ones who raise families, build projects, communities, and rebuild themselves. For when a woman steps forward, the whole world shifts with her.
Hoy celebramos a las mujeres que vinieron antes que nosotras, las que caminaron cuando el camino no existió, las que alzaron la voz cuando hablar era peligroso, las que sembraron derechos que hoy florecen en nuestras vidas.
Today, we honor the women who came before us, those who walk where no path existed, who raised their voices when silence was safer, who planted the rights that now bloom in our lives.
Celebramos a las mujeres que cuidan, las que trabajan, las que sueñan, a las que construyen hogares, ideas, empresas, arte y futuro, a las que sostienen el mundo incluso cuando nadie la ve.
We celebrate the women who care, who work, who dare to dream. Those who build homes, ideas, companies, art, and tomorrow. Those who hold the world together, even when no one sees it.
Ser mujer no es solo historia, es fuerza y ternura, lucha y esperanza, caída y renacimiento.
To be a woman is not a single story. It is strength and tenderness, struggle and hope, falling and rising again.
Hoy no solo celebramos lo que somos, también recordamos lo que aún estamos construyendo, porque cada mujer se levanta y abre camino para otra.
Today we celebrate not only who we are, but also what we are becoming. For every woman who rises clears a path for another.
Que nunca olvidemos esto. La historia del mundo también se escribe con las manos de una mujer.
And may we never forget, the story of the world is written by women's hands too.
And we will close tonight with the second quote from Frida Kahlo, which says, tú mereces lo mejor del mundo, porque tú eres una de esas pocas personas que en este mísero mundo siguen siendo honestas consigo mismas. Y esa es la única cosa que realmente cuenta.
You deserve the best of the best, because you are one of those people who, in this miserable world, remain honest with themselves, and that's the only thing that really counts.
¡Que vivan las mujeres!
Good evening, can you hear me well enough without that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi, my name is Alana. I'm glad to be here. I'm sitting in for Laura Lovasco in this part of this program. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here with us. But I picked a Joan Baez song, which was written in 1972. It's called All the Weary Mothers. And it talks about hard times. So many people have hard times, most particularly mothers. This song will also talk about farmers, workers, and soldiers. but it'll lead with mothers and end with mothers. And I think the thing about this song that I liked was that it ends with hope. Because although there's struggles and although there are daily challenges which are almost insurmountable, somehow everyone continues to work and get through. And because of that persistence, because of that diligence, because of that not giving up, that's kind of what ends up making success. And understanding that and then finding that hope at the end to do it again the next day is a big thing. So this song is All the Weary Mothers by Joan Baez. All the weary mothers of the earth who finally rest, they will take their babies in our arms and do our best. When the sun is low upon the field, to love and music they will yield. And the weary mothers of the earth will rest. And the farmer on his tractor and beside his plow stand there in confusion as we wait his crowd. All the kid of all the businessmen who see what they have done to him. And the weary fathers of the earth shall rest. And the aching workers of the world shall sing. Whose burning mighty choruses to all will bring. We shall no longer be the poor, for no one owns us anymore. And the workers of the world again shall sing. And when the soldiers burn their uniforms in every land, and the battles at the borders will be left unmanned. General, when you come for your review, the troops will have forgotten you. And the men and the women of the earth again shall rest. And the women and the men of the earth again shall rest.
Good evening. My name is Pamela Richards, and it's my honor to tell the story of motherhood and music. Diana Ehas was raised by a single mother who worked in a furniture factory in what was then Yugoslavia. Taking advantage of state-sponsored after-school arts programs, Diana began studying the violin when she was just 6 years old. The only musical instrument her mother could afford was too big for Diana, so she switched to viola. She attended a prestigious conservatory in Sarajevo and was soon playing with major orchestras. She was only 20 when she was recruited to play with the Sarajevo String Quartet. That foursome performed more than 200 concerts throughout the 3-year siege of Sarajevo, the longest siege of a capital city in the history of modern warfare. 2 of the players were killed by Serbian forces, one by sniper and the other during a bombing. Other musicians replaced them as the quartet played on, hoping to soothe their city's war-torn soul. Within months of their first wartime concert, the quartet became known as the go-to group for musical healing. Quote, "Known to the point," said Diana, that we would walk on the street and ordinary people would recognize us, unquote. Midway through the war, in hopes of fostering the Bosnian spirit of identity, the quartet was asked to present a concert featuring only Bosnian composers. Diana was nervous. She was very pregnant at that time, and since many of the works were contemporary, the music was complicated and required extensive rehearsals. She also worried that, as the youngest member of the group and as the sole female performer, her colleagues might fire her if she did not agree to perform. The concert was set for July 16th, 3 days before Diana's baby was due. After losing 2 fellow players to war violence, and after playing in other dangerous situations, she figured she could handle this one. However, babies do not always listen to doctors, and sure enough, her contractions began the night before the concert. Quote, "All I could think of was, this cannot happen," Diana said. Her husband acquired throughout the neighborhood for someone with a car and found a neighbor who happened to be a policeman. The neighbor agreed to drive them to the concert, wait for them, and then take them to the hospital afterwards. Quote, "Sure enough, we started playing, and there are my contractions. There are moments when the pain was stronger than my mind," unquote. But the audience, filled with governmental dignitaries, were oblivious, aware only of the patriotic power of the music. When the concert concluded, the musicians were asked to stay for an interview. Diana barely could stand. She said no. The first violinist asked, "Why not?" Quote, "I am right now going to the hospital to have this baby," unquote, she replied. The first violinist dropped to his chair, mouth opened, as if he were the one that was about to deliver a baby. The concert ended at 5 p.m. 40 minutes later, Diana's son came into the world. Motherhood and music. Diana had a newborn. She still continued to travel through the city. She still continued to play with the quartet. Quote, "At the beginning of the crisis, human beings tend to be in a state of survival. Then you have 2 options. You either give up and die, or you have to say, I'm going to survive. At some point," she continued, "you decide. Am I going to sit inside, or am I going to carry on? You are aware of the risks, but you do it anyway." After a while, for me, it was around 1993, you actually start thriving. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Samantha Lee, and tonight I'd like to recognize the Women in STEM, which stands for the study of science, technology, engineering, and math, whose hard work and discoveries were not only underestimated, but wrongly credited to men. The patriarchy systematically raises women to underestimate their capabilities and continually fails to recognize the accomplishments of female historical figures. These women excelled in their fields and changed the world with their research, but never received the proper credit deserved for their diligence. Here is a list of a few revolutionary women who deserve the spotlight. Verna Rubin, an American astronomer who provided the first compelling evidence for dark matter, fundamentally changing our understanding of the universe. Dr. Xin Xiang Wu, a Chinese-American physicist who confirmed the theory of beta decay, which is fundamental to the understanding of nuclear reactions. Dr. Rosalind Franklin, an English chemist and X-ray crystallographer who discovered DNA's double helix structure. Hedy Lamarr, an Austrian-American actress and inventor whose discoveries pioneered wireless communications, which would later form the basis for today's Wi-Fi, GPS, and Bluetooth communication systems. Lise Meither, an Austrian-Swedish physicist whose work was pivotal to the discovery of nuclear fission. Esther Letterberg, an American microbiologist who discovered microbiogenetics and transformed the study of bacterial genetics. Nettie Stevens, an American geneticist who discovered sex chromosomes. Katherine Johnson, an African-American mathematician whose mathematical calculations were critical to the success of the Apollo 11 mission, which sent the first 3 men to the moon. Dr. Candace Pert, an American neuroscientist and pharmacologist who discovered the opioid receptor, which is the cellular binding site for endorphins in the brain. Alice Augusta Ball, an African-American chemist who developed the first successful treatment for leprosy. These women serve as pivotal role models and prove the importance of feminism. I'd like to conclude with a quote from activist Naomi Walder that says, quote, "I urge everyone here and everyone who hears my voice to join me in telling the stories that aren't told. I urge each of you to help write the narrative for this world and understand so that these girls and women are never forgotten."
Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Lee. I will be reading a quote by Mary, and it's called Being a Woman. Being a woman means navigating a world that often feels built to limit you. From the moment we're born, we are handed expectations about our bodies, our behavior, and our ambitions. Society teaches us that we must be soft, yet strong, nurturing, yet unyielding. Feminism is the resistance against these contradictions, a call to reclaim our voices, our autonomy, and our right to be seen as equal. But even in the era of progress, women still face sexism in the workplace, in relationships, in the media, and everywhere in between. The challenge isn't just in the overt forms of discrimination, but in the subtle, everyday microaggressions. We are judged for our appearance more than our accomplishments, silenced in conversations, and taught to shrink to make others around us comfortable. And yet we rise. We fight for the right to exist fully in our power. We hold each other up, recognizing that the collective strength of women is something to be revered. Every time we choose to speak our truth, every time we support each other, we chip away at the societal barriers that seek to define us. There is power in being a woman. It is in the way we endure, the way we nurture, the way we break through systems designed to hold us back. It's in the moments of quiet rebellion and the loud calls for justice. Our struggles are shared, our resilience is unwavering, and we are never alone in the fight. When women stand together, there is nothing we cannot achieve. This is the essence of true feminism, celebrating our strength, dismantling structures that harm us, and creating a future where women are free to be everything they are.
I'm Mike Grogan. I'm the pastor of the Congregational Church. I asked Shar if she was sure she wanted me to speak because I feel like we've heard enough from old white men, but she reassured me and reminded me that we're all in this together. I'm also the youngest of 6 children and the only boy in that family. So I grew up with 6 strong women, my mother and all my sisters, who gave me good examples of what it means to be a human being. This is a word from singer-songwriter, poet Carrie Newcomer that I find very helpful in these times. It's called 3 Feet or So. When I'm weary, lost, or sad, overwhelmed, or just fed up, I say grace for what I have, and most of the time that is enough. We are bodies, skin and bones. We're all the loss we've ever known. What is gone is always near. We're all the love that brought us here. And the things that have saved us are still here to save us. It's not out there somewhere. It's right here. It's right here. If I start by being kind, love usually follows right behind. It nods its head and softly hums, saying, "Honey, that's the way it's done." We don't have to search for love, wring our hands and wring our hearts. All we have to do is know the love will find us in the dark. And the things that have saved us are still here to save us. It's not out there somewhere. It's right here. It's right here. I can't change the whole world, but I can change the world I know, what's within 3 feet or so.
Because I can't see you here. Kate, are you here? Okay. So Alana, would you come in?
Sure.
Perform for us. So just so you know, this is Alana. She's the old crone tone. It used to be old crone tones, but now there's just one.
Yes. When Catherine and I we play music every Thursday with some musicians. Anyone can join us. And so we have a Thursday night Lincoln City music group. And then when we play for different events that are important, then we voluntarily do that, and we call ourselves the Peace Band. And there's 6 of us, 7, 8 of us that will get up here and perform. And we'll be doing that here on the 18th of April for the Earth Day, Peace Day concert that will be here. When my wife and I play Catherine, we're the old crone tone. So she's not feeling so well. So she's not here. So we're just going to get one of us tonight. So this is another song by an old song, of course, Holly Meir. It's called Singing for Our Lives. And so while music inspires us and carries us through times, and this is a song that would address that. We are gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are engaged together, and we are singing for our lives. We are engaged together, and we are singing for our lives. We are peaceful, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are peaceful, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are peaceful, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are peaceful, loving people, and we are singing for our lives.
Good evening. Microphone down a little bit for me. I'm Susan Waukee, and I am honored to be the mayor of Lincoln City. And I apologize, I need my encourage us all to imagine a gender-equal world, a world free of bias, stereotypes, and discrimination, a world where difference is valued and celebrated. I would like to read a proclamation at this time. This is the proclamation of the City of Lincoln City. Whereas the first International Women's Day event took place in 1911, making 2026 the 115th year, celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women on March 8th. And whereas women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. Whereas International Women's Day acknowledges the obstacles women and girls still face in the struggle for equal rights and opportunities, and their central role in creating positive change. And whereas women and girls worldwide are still denied educational opportunities, and gender equality in education and in the workforce benefit everyone. Now therefore, I, Susan Waukee, Mayor of the City of Lincoln City, do hereby proclaim Sunday, March 8, 2026, as International Women's Day in the City of Lincoln City, and urge all residents to celebrate women's achievements, raise awareness against bias, and take action for equality.
Hello, I am Mary Beth Corina, granddaughter, daughter, and mother to a long lineage of strong, independent women. Tonight, I would like to pay tribute to my grandmother on my father's side, Levantia Grace Sheridan, lovingly known as Nana to me. She was born into a wealthy family, the favorite of her father, Albert Sheridan, who upon his deathbed made marriage arrangements for my grandmother with a business partner. Shortly after her father's death, she had the marriage annulled. The next time, she would marry for love, her own choice, a man of her own choosing. She would marry for love, not money. She married Carl Knotts, my grandfather, a handsome entrepreneur and jack of all trades. Unlike many women of her era, she was a free spirit, driving cars, smoking cigars, and was quite outspoken. As a young girl, I remember her voice discussing politics with the men in the parlor while the other women were in the kitchen. For many years, she lived alone in an old sea captain's house along the Ohio River. It is here that she helped to raise me in the small town of Ravenswood, West Virginia. But more importantly, as a suffragist, she helped to raise up all women. With my grandfather, she entertained governors, mayors, and many important dignitaries in their home. The most important being John F. Kennedy. She headed up his presidential campaign in West Virginia, turning the state blue for the first time in a long time. She died at the age of 92, or so we think. Her birth certificate burned up in the hospital, and she may have lied about her age as her husband was a bit younger than she was. But shortly after her death, I wrote this imagery of her, which I would like to share with you now. It's entitled Hands. Her hands held 1,000 wrinkles, hands cracked like drying clay, grounded in the earth where she tended her roses. She jokingly requested at her death, we simply fold her wrinkles in an envelope addressed to heaven. The image fascinated me, a formless pile of flesh folded like dough. Hands with a mind of their own, she would say, as she sat lost in her overstuffed chair, her sanctuary, a book in one hand, a cigarette in the other. The room filled with the haze of smoke, she would assure us she didn't inhale. She only smoked to give her hands something to do. Hands, once strong with purpose, helped grind wheat at the mill, tossing sacks heavy with flour across her shoulders, now seemed flighty, punctuating conversations in the air. I sat spellbound, watching the shadows of her hands dance, weaving tales of ship captains and their paddle boats traveling along the Ohio River with the floral print on the wall. Hands that picked me up after a fall, pushed me in the stroller, lovingly patted me to sleep each night. Hands steady like a silent metronome, slowing my heart as I drifted off to childhood dreams. Hands that, as her eyes failed, could be heard lightly brushing the walls, guiding her on through the darkness.
And I love turtles. One significant, can you hear me okay? Okay. One significant experience in my life is when I worked for Planned Parenthood over 40 years ago. I was a counselor and then an office manager in a small clinic in Colorado. I was there for 8 years. It was 10 years after Roe v. Wade, and birth control, abortion, women's and men's reproductive health had become quite normal. During my time there, I counseled with dozens, likely hundreds, of women finding out they were pregnant. We'd talk about what it meant to them, how it might affect their life, what support they had, what the financial support might be in raising a child, what their options were. Every single one took it very seriously. Every single one found it life-changing. Every single one came to a very personal decision, including other people as they felt comfortable. As you might know, the support for single mothers is pretty scarce and inadequate, still is, as our health care is threatened, as Roe v. Wade has been overturned. Women's health and lives are again threatened. I would like to end with a couple quotes from Judge Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Roe isn't really about the woman's choice, is it? It's about the doctor's freedom to practice. It wasn't woman-centered, it was physician-centered. And another quote, the decision whether or not to bear a child is central to a woman's life, to her well-being and dignity. It is a decision she must make for herself. When the government controls that decision for her, she is being treated as less than a full adult human, responsible for her own choices. At this as awful as the time we are in is, it does give us the opportunity to do things better, from our very private decisions all the way to our Constitution.
I think I'm the last one. It's been fun to hear everybody's struggle and hope. I think I've heard a lot tonight, and hopefully I'll hit some of those same things. I think what I wrote, inspired by Shar getting us together tonight, also came from doing maybe about 50% of my career in women's health, so I can relate to the story Nancy just told as well. So it's called We Learn, Wise Women in Celebration. We learn in fits and starts what it means to be woman in this culture.
The shared experiences, the jaded expectation, the want of a misogynistic man, to bolster our sexuality above all else we comprise, to take it as if it was theirs, confronted repeatedly with commodified, surgically altered, digitized tit and ass, we become briefly ignorant of the beauty of our diversity, the reach of our grasp and understanding, the freedom of our pace, and the grace with which we carry on. The required leaps of faith for what we can be and do. We are not pieces of a sexualized image. We are wholly connected human beings with our own desires for completeness. We exist on so many planes and landscapes, and yet when diminished to sexual entertainment, bodily pieces, body and soul, used and monetized by men and women alike. In that reality, our dreams, our desires subjugated, the mutuality of relations disappears as too many idolize a contractual barter for women's bodies. Young women begin to believe therein lies their unique value and act out to fill the role of seductors, as if they would not exist without it. Young men learn their roles, experiences of taking, buying, hustling women's sexuality from male-dominant cultural icons, Hugh Hefner, Bezos Primetime, even Jeffrey Epstein. Power that continues to protect itself or whomever may follow. There is always a man with limited vision who trifles through life that will try to monetize our bodies. Don't forget, Me Too brought down Weinstein, collectively, singly, bravely. There will be men that learn better, instinctively, intuitively, wisely. They will be our allies, thrive with us, abundantly happy together, sharing richly authentic lives. Let us find and celebrate them. One more breath. Let us, as women, own everything we care to envision. Our lives, our loves, our relationships, our bodies, our connection to the planet and the web of life. Let us not sell off precious pieces of us to the highest bidder. Instead, together, let us hold ourselves and each other above the grime that would diminish us. Bubble to the surface our power, our intellect, our creativity, diversity, a sense of community, the beauty brimming over. Celebrate the grandmothers, the youth, the stages in between. Let us inform the young. We are not commodity. We are strength. We are vision. We are wisdom. We are endurance. We are all that we dream to be. Today, let us celebrate glorious, compassionate, strong, nurturing, clear-headed women. We learn, experience teaches us. We must care for ourselves, each other, and the planet. We can trust in the beauty of that.
Okay, just be a little patient. If you didn't get a copy of Bread and Roses, we do have those to give to people. We don't need them right now, but we're going to need them shortly. And if I recognize what she's doing correctly, the stage manager has copies right there. So if you don't have a copy, raise your hand and she will give you one. I think in the back, do you, yeah. Look at this hand up. Can't miss it. patient, it's gonna be good.
My name is Jane Furlich. I'm down from Portland, so I love these. I wear them every day. I'm a librarian at a high school, and before I came down here, I put up my Women's History Month display, and I want to visit, was it Diana's bookstore? Yeah. Wherever she is, I want to talk to you. When I was 50, I thought I should have a midlife crisis. The men always do. I decided I would take up the bagpipes. So it's never too late. At 60, what did I do at 60? I bought eye wrinkle cream. And at 65, I'm finally comfortable in my own skin. And I am ready. Viva la mujeres! And now we're going to learn a song. I won't play these.
Everybody have theirs.
So, allow me.
Yeah, so you guys
We didn't practice this, but I thought it might be good to do like a call and answer type of learning. So, did you have words? Oh, wow, you're prepared. I'm not sure we're doing this anymore. Is this the...
Red roses, yes.
Okay. So we'll sing, I'll sing a line, you'll sing a line, and then you'll all sing a line. So give us a starting chord.
We go marching, marching, the end of the day. let me get it up higher. Let's take it to,
I had it in a different key.
key do you want to do?
Well, I had it in, let's see, 5 sharps is B, in the key of B, B major. So you're in G, so it would
I
be
can do
like up to, like a third of. I thought I was.
It's like a whole thing.
I thought I was it.
That'll work?
As we go marching, marching in the beauty of the day. We marching, marching in the beauty of the day. One line, and then they'll say it.
Oh, kind of.
Okay, so we don't need to
learn.
We're gonna get it down.
Yeah. That's still a little, now that's a little high. Let's see, somewhere in the middle. I'm natural, so I don't sing sermon. As we go marching, marching in the beauty of the day. As we go marching, marching in the beauty of the day. A million darkened kitchens, 1,000 mil lofts gray. A million darkened kitchens, 1,000 mil lofts gray. Are touched with all the radiance that a sudden sun discloses. Are touched with all the radiance that a sudden sun discloses. For the people we hear singing bread and roses, bread and roses. For the people hear us singing bread and roses, bread and roses. So that's the tune. I'm sorry, I usually can sing in front of people and I don't know why I'm so nervous. And the key I'm playing.
Okay.
I think we're close.
Marching, marching, we battle to forget. For they are women's children, and we mother them again. Our lives shall not be sweated from birth until life closes. Hearts starve as well as bodies, give us bread and give us as we go marching, marching, unnumbered women dead, go crying to our singing their ancient song of bread. Small heart and love and beauty, their drudging spirits new. Yes, it is that we fight for, but we fight for those we go marching, marching, we bring the greater days. The rising of the women means the rising of the race.
threw me because it's only half a verse. So I think let's just sing the two things like, our life shall not be sweated from birth until life closes. Our star is as finest, our life shall not be sweated from birth until life closes. Hearts starved as well as bodies, bread and roses, bread and roses. Someday, I'll be on the big pipes. And then everybody, bring your sheets. I'll just skip that last verse.
Oh, that's fine, yeah. All right, okay. Yay! Oh, boy, that was so much fun. Okay, well, I mean, it was fun for me. Was it fun for you guys? Oh, thank you so much for coming tonight. I just want to remind you that on Sunday, we have a rally, Fight for Women and Girls, and it's from 1 to 3, and it's on 101 in front of the outlet malls. And so there's plenty of parking in the parking garage. Just go visit a business at some point, before or after. But join us. We have some signs. It will be lovely. Thank you all for coming.